right, let's now update you on what's going on with the Next 10. What exactly is the Next 10? Who's behind the Next 10? Let's talk now with John Stremsterfer. He is with the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. John, thanks for taking time. How you been?
I'm doing well, Greg. How are you?
Good to hear. Thumbs up. So the Next 10, you've got an update here. First, before we get to that update, what is the Next 10 and why should people know about this?
Sure. The Next 10 was conceived of in 2020. It was led by the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln as an effort to have a visioning project for the greater Springfield area to ask citizens what they care about and what they want to see better in their communities. And from that, we had hundreds of ideas submitted, hundreds. Really quality ideas. It wasn't derogatory or negative complaining. It was more positive based. People saying, well, it'd be nice if this was better or this was improved. From that, we had a steering committee of volunteers that kind of sorted through and vetted all these ideas to come up with what we thought were reasonable projects to pursue as a community. And then we issued a report right about a year ago saying, hey, let's do this, the Next 10 recommendations. With that, though, Greg, some of the key elements to make it into that report were it had to have a group that said they would be a champion for the project, someone that said we take some responsibility to actually see this through. Two, it'd have to have some resources behind it, some money, some human capital to say, okay, we really have legitimacy here. And then the third thing, to get moving on it in short order, in a year to 3 years to get moving. Well, here we are a year later, and I'm very pleased to report there's a lot of progress on many, many projects. So it's exciting to see today and this week we're out there talking about the projects, give it a brief update. But I think the main message we're trying to convey to people is this is exciting, and I think we should be encouraged that when people focus their attention, their energies, you can really get things done.
We're talking with John Stremsterfer. He is with the Lincoln, the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln here with Springfield's Morning News. So we've got this document you produced to essentially give that update for the summer. Let's talk about this. We've got it pulled up for those watching online as well. But the Next 10 summer update, what do we got?
Well, some of the projects I think I'd put in a bucket of we're fixing things up around Springfield. You've probably heard of the news of the Pillsbury site. It's just recently taken ownership by a not-for-profit organization that was formed for the sole purpose to rehabilitate and revitalize that whole 18-acre property. That's a big deal, Greg. For 20 years, that property has kind of fallen into disrepair, and now we're on a road of recovery, I think, for the neighborhood, for the northeast side of Springfield. That's one project that's made a lot of headway in the last year or so. What the state of Illinois is doing in the downtown with the Capitol complex is pretty remarkable. Everyone, it seems, in this community wants to see a revitalized and vibrant downtown. With the Capitol complex, the Armory building, we're talking millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that's going to be spent to rehabilitate our state's property. That's a good thing for Springfield. On the east side of Springfield, the Springfield Project and the Black Chamber of Commerce have two buildings they're working on. One is the historic Taylor House that's been stabilized recently thanks to some city grants, and also the development of the CAP 1908 project at the corner of 11th South Grand to have that be a business hub for entrepreneurs in East Springfield or all of Springfield. That's revitalizing what was a historic business district in the Southtown area. So there are things all around the community. If you look around just the public schools, the revitalization that's going on after years of neglect in many of our public schools, you see construction hats everywhere around town. You see cranes downtown. That's an exciting thing. There's a lot of Next 10 projects that said we need to work on the physical infrastructure of our community.
Again, we're talking with John Stremsterfer. He's with the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln about the Next 10 project and the summer update. You've got a variety of project areas here listed that ultimately are kind of breaking out the next 10 of those projects. And again, people watching online can see this, or you can get more information at tn10.org, tn10.org. But a revitalization and resilient downtown, number one. Illinois recreational playground, number two. Urban-rural connection, number three. Talk a little bit about that one in particular, John, when it comes to, we of course have the downtown city center, but a lot of people, they live outside of Springfield. They drive in for work. How do we get that connection there?
Yeah, well, there's two things that kind of fell in that bucket, and all these kind of cross into different issue areas. But one, there's now begun a master planning process for the Illinois State Fairgrounds. That's in an urban setting on the north side of Springfield, but it's the home of the Department of Ag and always has had a rich agricultural culture. This master plan is the first time this has ever happened for the fairgrounds. It's underway now, and at the upcoming Illinois State Fair, citizens will have the ability to chime in for their thoughts and dreams for the state fair. There'll be QR codes around park benches throughout the fairgrounds. So please, your listeners, give us your ideas for the state fair. So that's one thing. A second one is championed by Sangamon County government, and there's research now underway to kind of meet what we think is a bit of a stretch goal to become the farm-to-table capital of the world. We didn't want to say just the country or Illinois. We want to be the farm-to-table capital of the world. And I think that was because when we looked around to see what resources we have in this community, we're the state capital, we have a wonderful medical community, but we're also live in the breadbasket of America. Some of the richest soil on earth is in this community. And we have amazing restaurants and chefs. So how do we play on that to make this a place, a destination for people, but also for local citizens to eat more local food? So those are two of the main projects in that issue area.
Again, we're talking with John Stremsterfer, the Next 10 project, outlining a variety of project areas and the vision they have for the city of Springfield and the surrounding area. And people can find out more at tn10.org. That is T for the, N for next, and 10. So tn10.org. John, what's next for this project?
Well, when we embarked upon this project, we had a pretty extensive website and a request for people's ideas. We're reopening the website, that tn10.org, where it's more of a suggestion box feature now, so people can still submit ideas. That we feel is important. It's been a couple years since we started this project, and we hope the ideas haven't stopped. We're not going to say that we're going to be able to submit and implement every idea that everyone has, but I think we really believed in this to say, what do people think? What do they want to see better? How do we help organize this? If you'll see in these projects, Greg, the Community Foundation is involved as a funder on many, but we're the leader on hardly any because we're a grant maker by nature. And a lot of these are public resources and other resources that are just getting things going. But it really is heartening to just see a project like Pillsbury, for example, where just 3 individuals got together, formed an organization, and now they're making really real progress. I hope that this inspires others to do the same, whatever issues they care about, regardless if it makes it into a Next 10 report or not. I think this just is our effort to say citizens can band together and do positive things in their community.
Well, and I think, too, the update that you have provided at tn10.org for the summer progress report also outlines some of the things that you guys have accomplished as the community together, pulling all the resources together. And those 10 completed projects include more parklets downtown, also Benedictine campus being reimagined. Incredible to see the work that everybody involved over there is doing. But just a great collection of projects to bring about a more vibrant and sustainable and successful Springfield and surrounding area. John Stremsterfer with Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln, the Next 10. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this morning, and we'll definitely be talking again soon.
Great. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.